Hello there and welcome back. Guys, thank you very much for coming in today. These terms that we were just talking about, the search engine optimization, the social marketing, and the blogging, very, very powerful tools that if people utilize these right can really help them when it comes to marketing. And right now everybody needs all the help they can get when it comes to marketing out there. And these tools are very powerful, and very different than existing tools out there. So we're going to give out some contact info if anybody needs to get in touch with you. Here's the telephone number, 816-1492, info@performancebusinesssolutions.com. If you have any questions that we talked about today on the air, please by all means send me an email, computerguy@comcastc2.com, jamie@ssdplus.com, or give me a call at 556-4720. Hope you enjoyed the show today. We'll see you next time on The Computer Guy. Hello there and welcome to The Computer Guy. My name is Jamie Mellis and thank you for joining us today. Today in the studio we have a couple of special guests to talk to us today about a couple things that you may not really know a lot about, but hopefully by the end of the show we'll have enough information for you to help you to understand it. We're going to talk a little bit about search engine optimization. We're going to talk a little bit about social networking and professional blog writing. And today we have the special guest in the studio here, Eric and Kent, Performance Business Solutions. We're going to talk a little bit today. But first of all, I want to thank you very much for coming in.
Thank you for having us.
To talk about these topics because they can be really confusing. It seems like everybody is now trying to offer these kinds of services out there. And if you really want to do it right, you need to go to a professional that really understands these particular topics. And I think the two of you got these topics mastered pretty well. So again, thank you very much for coming in today. So
thank you.
A lot of hype out there about how to use the internet to bring in, for marketing, for social networking. Everybody's on Facebook, it seems today. Seems like it must be the only site on the internet today is Facebook out there.
They do control a lot of it. The internet still could be a fad though, right? What do you think?
I think it's here to stay.
Right.
Didn't Bill Gates actually say that he didn't really think that there was going to be much use of the internet? He didn't really think there was going to be a lot going on the internet. You know, I think if you could go back in time and talk to him, I think you would have heard him say that. I think that was one of the biggest mistakes that Bill has ever made.
One of the few.
One of the few of the mistakes, but it really has revolutionized how we do things out there today.
Absolutely. Makes things a lot more effective too. So we'll hopefully cover that today.
Good. All right, so we talked about search engine optimization. I threw that one out there. Social networking or social marketing, and then the blog writing. We're going to talk a little bit about that towards the end of the show. It seems like search engine optimization is a term that everybody that I go to today that says they want to do anything on the web, they keep saying, "How do I use search engine optimization? How do I? Who can you point me to help direct me towards doing this the right way?" A lot of people have tried it. They've had other people that are masters at doing this, and they come out very unhappy with it. So today, hopefully you can help us understand what it's all about.
One thing I like to start with, we are certified in integrated online marketing strategies, which is also I guess you can call it a very large term for internet marketing. And there's SEO stands for search engine optimization, which in layman's terms is a way to bring more presence to your business to the web. So it used to be one thing to say, do you have a website? And the answer would be yes or no. Now you have to have a website, but not only that, you have to make sure it's optimized that you can bring a presence to that website so the business is actually seen by the search engines, which as we know, the major ones are Google, Yahoo, and Bing, with Google taking the major share. One particular stat to talk about is 87% of all people looking for any product or service that they're looking for are now looking on the internet for that. So the days of looking for something through the yellow pages, most businesses are not putting their marketing dollars towards that. They're putting more towards the internet.
That's a pretty strong statement.
It's a strong statement, and it's something that we actually just got that statistic fourth quarter of last year. So,
wow.
So SEO stands for search engine optimization, there's a term called organic search engine optimization. And what organic means is when you're looking on the internet, on the left side, you're going to pull up a URL. And let's just say you put a URL in the computer. You're going to have on the left side, you're going to have on the top, you're going to have typically 1, 2, or 3 sort of advertisements, which are links that are paid advertisements, which is called PPC. That's an acronym that stands for pay-per-click advertising. Very popular. It has its advantages and disadvantages. The advantage number 1 is it helps with branding of a business. You get instant location right there on the website. You pay for that advertisement, and it has to do with a cost per click, which is another acronym of CPC, stands for that. Now, a lot of people look at that and say, okay, well, I can get up there very quickly. Why don't I want to do that all the time? Well, once you stop paying for your cost per click or your pay-per-click advertising, your advertising goes away on there. So organic is something that we focus on at Performance Business Solutions, where we think that after a while, if you spend the time and resources, get all the resources done to help with what's called link building, and I'm going to touch on this as we go, but you have link building, backlinking, you have professional blog writing, you have fresh, relevant content. These are all terms of what the search engine algorithm in Google is looking for to help raise you up or raise the businesses up in the status there with the rankings.
And that's kind of what I think a lot of people are looking for today, is that at least when they ask me questions, they want to find out how do they get off page 3 of the search results and get over to page 1, and even more so, how do I go closer to the top of that list? Because usually you get 10 results to a page when you, like through Google and some of the other sites, search engines. And so that's kind of the questions that people are asking me. How do I get closer to the front of those listings? And so this is where search engine optimization comes in.
Correct. There's another acronym, since we like acronyms, is SERP, Search Engine Result Page. And when you have a SERP, you'll, if you don't mind, I'll actually use the internet for that. I'm not going to use my site, actually. Here's our site. We want to show our beautiful site to the viewers.
Performance Business Solutions. There you go.
Performance Business Solutions. All right. So I'm going to go up here. I'm just going to go to Google. So we're on Google, which is obviously the most popular, most effective of the search engines out there. And you have what's called keywords. And when people are typing in keywords, Google has gotten a lot smarter in the last 6 months, if not in the last 3 months. They change their algorithms regularly, where they can pretty much tell when someone's typing in, after about the first, second, third, fourth keyword, it's going to narrow down the results of what they're looking for. So some search engines will work a little bit differently. Bing's got a little bit way they work with it, but Google will stick with because they're the most popular. But let's take something that's a little bit more geo-targeted, which is, let's say, for Charleston. So let's look up Charleston, athletics. Let's see.
Okay. So as you're typing, it's trying to anticipate what you're saying. So, all right. So going back up. There you go. Sports. Okay.
All right. Charleston Sports Equipment.
Right.
So what it does up here is it's got Google Places, where it's going to show everything on the map here of where it's showing up. And a lot of these businesses have done what's called directory listings. And one of the ways to do SEO is, as I was mentioning earlier, backlinking, which is taking links from sites that are very similar to that business of whatever your business may be. If you're a massage therapist business, you want to get some sort of acupuncture or chiropractic, any type of other business that's medically related that has to deal with that kind of healing.
Right.
So it will link to those sites, and then the more sites that come over and the links that come over to the website, Google will recognize that. It's called a spider. The spider will go by and recognize it and say, okay, this is fresh content, and they will link that to their site. And then the more links that you put on a site, it makes you look like more of an expert, basically is what it does. So as here, we're looking at Charleston Sports Equipment. I just want to kind of show here where we're looking at Google Maps. And as you look over here, these are the first organic pages showing up here. So you've got super pages, and then you go to charlestonfitnessequipment.com. They've taken up the first couple here. Looks like first 2 or 3. All right.
So these are your organic links that are coming up in the
yes, for this type of search. This is just a basic search. Now, if you put a very large macro search in there, such as poker, which is very, very widely used, you can see here,
different types of links come up.
Different types of links come up, but also look at the results here, 312 million.
Gotcha.
So if someone were living in Charleston and they say, hey, I want to, I mean, it's not legal here, but if they were doing something that had to do more of a geo-targeted area, which would be Charleston area only, you want to make sure that whatever you're doing for your SEO, that you're going to have the time, the resources, the fresh, relevant content to keep things fresh on the site. You want to do articles daily, sometimes multiple a day, depends on what your business is. But what I want to show here as with poker compared to Charleston Sports Equipment is this is such a generic term with 312 million results. Very large. So if you were a local business trying to compete with the big boys in that business, very difficult to achieve that. Yeah,
gotcha.
It'd be a financial resource.
All right, we've got to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll jump into this, and then we're going to get into the social networking and how that can help play into this as well. So let's take a quick break. We'll be right back after these messages. Hello there, and welcome back. I'm Jamie Mellison. Thank you for joining us today. Eric Lappin, Kent Tooney, Performance Business Solutions, here to talk a little bit about how you can market better on the internet. And we were just going through search engine optimization. How does keywords, meta tags, and so forth help people when they're designing their website in order to land closer to the top of the search engine results?
Good question, Jamie. There's meta tags are basically the code behind the website. So when a website's designed, especially nowadays, a business would want to make sure to let their developer know, hey, I want to have these type of keywords in there. I want to have the keyword density. Keyword density is also a way that a business can check out what their competitors are doing and how, if they're in the top 3 rankings, you can do what's called a source code and check out how they're doing their keyword density to see what are the most common keywords being used for that type of business. The algorithm's changing on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. It's getting more and more. And that's also a positive thing for businesses because it'll keep the spammers out. It'll keep a lot of the what's called black hats, which are companies that are doing it the wrong way. So it's really a good thing that's going on with the business nowadays.
Gotcha. So one of the things that you guys do is that if somebody's interested in trying to optimize their website with things such as that we're talking about, whether it be meta tags and so forth, y'all can help design that part of it, or at least help lay them out to point them in the right direction.
Correct.
Consult with them on getting their search results higher.
Correct.
In the search engines. But as you mentioned, the algorithms change on a regular basis, so it's not something you're going to do once and then leave it that way. You got to periodically go back and continuously tune that process to continue to stay higher.
Yeah, if you let that go, it's like anything. If you leave the maintenance off a car, eventually, if you don't keep the oil change on there, the car will not run well. Same thing with a website. So you have to make sure in these monthly maintenance programs, make sure whoever you do business with lets you know, here's what we're going to perform for you, this is how we're going to clean your system, here's how we're going to also make sure that we keep the algorithms up to date and keep it acceptable so your keyword meta tags are being noticed.
Gotcha. So social networking seems like this has got to be one of the biggest things going right now, Facebook and so forth. Businesses are constantly now using these types of sites for marketing. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Well, we were just talking about it at the break. Kent brought up a very, very good stat. Kent, if you mind sharing with the viewers about MySpace used to be one of the biggest back in 02, 03, 04 area. That was a very big social networking site, mainly used by the younger generation. But what was the stat we were just talking about?
More people in America are on Facebook than watch the Super Bowl. Another one that was interesting I recently heard was if Facebook was a nation, it would be number 3, only behind China and India. And also we see things moving politically as far as Egypt and those Middle Eastern countries where the revolutions are actually being powered by, if you will, by social networking.
It's amazing how much power you can wield on sites like Facebook.
Correct.
And everybody is out on Facebook these days, and so it's amazing what you can do with using somebody else's site, their power, and so forth to get your message out. What are you seeing today as far as when people come to you about using sites like Facebook? How do you market with that?
One thing we're seeing, and this is really in the last year, I'd say, Facebook, when it really came out, was another one of those social networking sites, pictures of families, pictures of the kids growing up, dogs. I'm at Starbucks drinking a great latte today. It's great. Whatever they want to put on there, you can do that. But now, more than ever in the last year, Facebook's almost becoming a requirement for a business to succeed these days. If you notice on TV, at the end of a lot of TV commercials now, it's not visit us at our website. It says visit us on. It says Facebook us. So it's now,
Right.
It's a verb. So you could do so much with Facebook. People don't realize that as used as a business, you can have landing pages created, and landing pages are basically microsites that allow you to attack or attract a client or a customer, offer what your product and service is, and how to get to it. So that's it's being used quite a bit. We have a social media section in our office that we handle that. We can basically target. Basically, you have all the demographics of people that are on Facebook. It's not about getting as many likes as you can. That's one thing that happened a couple years ago. Insights is a great program that Facebook offers. It's basically how they measure results. You can also secure a domain name under a Facebook now as long as you have 25 or 30 likes. I think it's 30 actually.
30 likes, yeah.
30 likes. So that's a way that you can interact with your customers. You can do raffles, you can do surveys, you can do percentages off businesses, off the services or goods. Make the content fresh and relevant. Don't always sell something. Keep it to where people want to always be interacted, and more importantly, forward it on to their friends and other businesses, and that's how the viral comes into play with Facebook.
It's amazing when you see people who have like 5,000 friends, or they've exceeded the number of people they can have. They start, what's the page called where it's not really your home page, but
the wall.
The wall. You're not sure wall, but it's
info.
Info, yeah. So now they're up to 2 million or 3 million people out there that they like this and so forth. So it's a very big presence out there, and I think if you're not on Facebook, it's one of the things that folks need to talk to you about on trying to use this tool.
And it's a free tool. That's another thing people don't realize. It's free as far as Facebook itself, but managing it, a lot of the businesses don't have the resources or the time to effectively put relevant, fresh content on there for their clients.
All right, we've got to take another break. When we come back, we're going to talk about blogging, professional blogging, and how you can use this tool as well to help put that image, big image out there on the web. All right, we'll be right back after these messages. Hello there, and welcome back. Eric, before we went to break, or during the break actually, we were talking a little bit about some of the statistics around Facebook, and some of this information is pretty amazing. Why don't you rattle off some of these numbers here real quick?
Yeah, there's people spend over 700 billion minutes per month on Facebook.
700 billion minutes. If you could get a fraction of a penny off of that, you'd be very rich.
Very rich, and Facebook is, and it's free for them. That's how much they get on their advertising right now. 77% of active internet users read blogs as well, and that's something that ties into Facebook because 60% of all people that are on Facebook are likely to recommend a business or service that they like to other friends on Facebook, which causes it to be a viral marketing tool. But out of that 77% of those active internet users that read blogs, it's something that's very important that ties into the whole internet marketing strategy, the SEO, the social media, and professional blog writing. So I'd like to turn it over to Kent, who understands what the difference is between blogging for fun and then professional blog writing to make sure that the meta tagging and the keyword density is done correctly and can actually help a business grow. So I'll turn it over to Kent.
Thank you. Actually, Facebook and Twitter are what are called microblogs. They're smaller versions of what blogs are. And the nature of it, well, I should back up and say a blog is actually a slang term or short for weblog. And they began several years ago, actually more than 10 years ago. But the nature of it is we're sharing information, and it's concise information. It's more than just Twitter and Facebook where you're just putting one or two sentences out there. But what we're trying to do in terms of a business goes is that you want to put up what I call compelling content, which is useful information. And a good way to frame it really is to draw the distinction between a website and a blog. Most people can't tell a difference when they're looking at them online. But a website, let's say for example we have a real estate agent and they may have their own website, and on that website it's got more of their value statement, why they're unique, what value they bring, why they're better than everyone else. On a blog, however, you don't say, hey, this is why I'm great. On a blog, you want to provide that compelling content, which is useful information for the reader. And for an example there might be, well, on the real estate agent's website, like I said, they're going to have their contact information, what makes them unique, and the value that they bring to the market. But the blog, they're going to have articles, what are called posts on the blog site, that are going to have information, say, for example, top 10 ways to increase your home's curb appeal. And in fact, their blog may even have a different name. They might have Eric Lappin Real Estate as their website, but their blog might be called, and I just thought of this on the way over, Curb Appeal. Their blog name might be Curb Appeal. And then also, that could be part of the meta tagging and keywords that Eric was talking about. For example, if someone is going on to Google and they type in the search, how to increase my home's curb appeal. Well, this blog is going to come up very high in the search ranking because, for one, the name of their blog is is curb appeal. So the name of the site actually helps with that relevance and authority that the search engine algorithms are looking for. And also it's timely information. You're always updating the blog. You're writing, say, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 posts per week. And also the title of each article or post is going to be very important in that relevancy and authority that the search engines are looking for. For example, we have the blog from the real estate agent called Curb Appeal, and then the article is Top 10 Ways to Increase Curb Appeal. And then in the first, say, 2, 3 sentences, you want to have that key phrase in there, curb appeal. You might say, hey, you're looking for ways to improve your home's curb appeal. Here are top 10 ways to improve your curb appeal. And so you also have to be careful not to just write, say, a 300-word article or post and just put curb appeal 50 times in there. The search engines know that. They change the algorithms to prevent people from abusing what they know about the search engines. And so what you want to do is provide information that people find useful on the blog, not say, this is why I'm great. Okay. The website is for that. The blog is for providing the compelling content, is the way I say it.
And so the blogs should be, or may be separate from the website.
Yes, and they should be linked to each other because people are looking for information. They're not looking for why you're a great real estate agent. They're looking for how to increase their home's curb appeal in the example that I gave you. And then they might say, well, hey, I live in this area, and then go over to your website. There's going to be a nice little link on there, and they're kind of stumbling over you. They're not really looking for your website per se. Now, if someone was looking for you directly, they're going to find your website anyway.
Gotcha.
But if they're looking for information, they might find your blog and then stumble over, if you will, your website that way.
All right, so we got professional blogging, very different than just the general blogging that's out there.
Right.
And again, another one of those areas that y'all can be very helpful on when it comes to helping people with this professional image. All right, let's take another break, and we'll be right back after these messages.